A resonant whistle echoed through the ship's internal communication system as Commander Nelson readied to address the ship. "Attention, crew. This is your commander speaking." His voice boomed throughout the ship. "We're about to reach the very edge of the solar system, where we will complete the first ever hyperspace jump outside of our system, catapulting us nearly 3,000 light-years away for the Kepler-90 system." His eyes met Jane's, his trusted second-in-command. She nodded approvingly. "This expedition marks a milestone in human history. We are the pioneers venturing beyond the confines of our solar boundaries, stepping into the unknown. Whether we encounter new life or find nothing at all, the knowledge we gain holds immeasurable significance. Remember, each of you plays a crucial role in shaping the chronicles of this historic event." In the Control and Information Center, CIC, an electric anticipation hung in the air. Every member fixated on Nelson's every word, sharing knowing glances and barely containing their excitement. "Our expedition is being broadcast across all human colonies within the solar system, from Earth and Venus to Jupiter's moons, and even the ongoing scientific mission to Pluto." He gestured toward the side screens displaying 3 prominent windows labeled Houston, Earth, Musk City, Mars, and New Tokyo, Titan. Underneath, a mosaic of smaller windows showcased various other settlements and cities throughout the solar system. Each window depicted crews, influential figures, and scientists with a representative poised before the cameras. As we continue, we'll maintain constant communication with them, even as we venture outside of the solar system. This achievement is made possible by a new, groundbreaking technology that utilizes hyperspace waves for seamless communication. And this is its first operational use. The representatives of Earth, Mars, and Titan were all wearing approving smiles. The representative from New Tokyo gave a deep bow. "Every step we take from here will be a testament to humanity's progress," Nelson continued. "Our journey will be documented, our actions scrutinized, and our interactions will shape the course of our civilization's future." The crew absorbed his words with eager anticipation. Nelson's gaze swept across the room, acknowledging the gravity of the moment. "Each one of you holds a vital role in this historic endeavor. Let our conduct reflect the best of humanity." He paused, allowing his message to sink in before concluding, "God has confined us to this small corner of the universe. He put vast distances, too large to grasp, to separate us from other potential habitats for life, too far to ever reach by conventional means. But today, we defy God. Today we break out of our prison." Jane frowned, but her dissent went unnoticed amidst the thunderous applause of the crew. The CIC buzzed with the animated chatter of the crew for several more moments before they gradually returned to their assigned stations. "Sir, all systems are primed and ready, waiting for your command," Dan, the navigation officer, reported. Nelson nodded. "Prepare for jump." Nelson gripped the safety railing tightly as the vessel catapulted into hyperspace. It was an indescribable sensation, as if reality momentarily folded upon itself, distorting the very fabric of their surroundings. Nelson could feel a subtle shift in gravity, a surreal experience akin to being pulled and pushed simultaneously. Lights flickered and danced across the control panels, causing several of the computers to power down. The screens depicting the human colonies went dark. For a fleeting moment, it seemed as if time itself had paused, suspended within this ethereal conduit of faster-than-light travel. Then, just as abruptly as it began, the disorienting sensation ceased, and the control panels went back to normal, though the communication screens remained dark. "Systems are back online," Dan announced. "We've arrived at the Kepler-90 system." "Initiate hyperspace communications," Nelson said. Natasha, the communications officer, manipulated the controls, restoring the screens to life. "Commander?" Earth's representative said, "You were gone for a few minutes." "Everything's in order," Nelson affirmed. We've safely reached our destination. A surge of enthusiastic applause echoed through the screens, yet it was abruptly cut short by Dan's urgent voice. Sir, he interjected, the radars are picking up signals of objects in our vicinity. A ripple of tension coursed through the room. How many? Nelson asked. Many ships, most likely. Some of them potentially within communication range. This system is inhabited, Jane whispered. We seem to have stumbled upon an alien civilization right off the gate, Nelson addressed the human colonies, eliciting mixed reactions. Prepare to establish communication with them, he ordered Natasha. Let's find out who they are. How are we going to do that? Jane asked. They don't know our language. Nelson and Natasha exchanged looks, and she nodded. We have prepared a transmission for this very scenario, using universal symbols and messages to convey our peaceful intentions, he explained. What if it doesn't work? Jane pressed. Sir, there's irregular movement among their ships, Dan urgently interjected, his attention fixed on the radar display. Natasha! Nelson yelled out. Message transmitted. Natasha confirmed. Several ships are heading our way, Dan said. Natasha, open a channel. We have to speak to them directly. I've been attempting to, but they're either unresponsive or use entirely different communication methods, Natasha replied, her brows furrowing in frustration. 4 ships are heading in our direction, Dan updated. Wait. He paused in disbelief, manipulating the controls. 2 ships have just vanished. Vanished? Nelson echoed. They jumped, Jane realized. Nelson released a weighted breath. How long before they're within firing range? At their current speed, approximately an hour. But, sir, perhaps their intentions aren't hostile, Dan said cautiously. Natasha, continue your efforts to establish communication, Nelson directed. He exchanged a worried glance with Jane, recognizing her mirrored apprehension. We must not fire under any circumstance, she stressed. Their technology likely far surpasses ours if they jump so easily into hyperspace. What do you suggest? Run, she said. Fire up the FTL drive and prepare to jump back home. Nelson considered her words. Dan, he said, prepare for a jump. It may take some time, he said. Make the preparations. He turned to Jane. What if we wait? Show them we're not a threat, he proposed. Commander Nelson, a voice resonated from the screens. It was the Earth representative, an elderly stateswoman. Interplanetary defenses have been activated. What? 2 unidentified objects appeared in the solar system several minutes ago, she said. They've retraced our steps, he whispered in disbelief. Their technology far exceeds ours. 3 additional objects have just appeared, she reported urgently. Titan's fleet is on high alert, declared the representative from New Tokyo. Commander, what's the status on your end? We've been unable to make contact, he said heavily. I'm concerned they might turn hostile. More vessels are emerging. The New Tokyo representative's tone bordered on alarm. They're dangerously close to Titan, and they've appeared above Mars, the Mars representative almost yelled. A man urgently whispered something in Earth's representative's ear. The fleet has been hit with some kind of wave that disabled their engines, she informed Nelson urgently. I fear this has affected all ships in the system. Suddenly, the representatives on the screens shifted their focus. Panic ensued behind them, with people running and yelling. The frantic commotion was palpable. Some broke down in tears, and amidst the chaos, the actual cause remained unclear. What's happening? Nelson demanded. Earth's representative turned toward him with a look of astonishment. Can you hear me, Commander Nelson? The other representatives mirrored the same surprise. Yes, what's going on? He pressed. All communications have failed. They've hit us with another type of wave. You're the only one coming through, she explained. The other representatives attempted to speak simultaneously, creating a chaotic jumble of voices. One at a time, Nelson urged, and the cacophony subsided. Titan, Is your communication down? Mars? Phoebe? All communications were indeed offline. With persistent effort, they managed to establish an improvised channel through their own ship. Everything is fried, the Mars representative said. Their interference has crippled our systems. The only operational link we have is this channel, Commander, likely due to its reliance on hyperspace technology. Their waves are dismantling our infrastructure, rendering all technology useless. At this rate, we might regress to a primitive state on a planet ill-equipped for sustaining life. Can the dome cities sustain life without electricity? Jane inquired. We have emergency protocols in place, but executing them will be incredibly challenging and risky, the Mars representative said. Sir! Dan interjected. The FTL drive is ready for jump. He glanced at Jane. What should we do? Before Jane could respond, a violent tremor jolted the ship, sending them both to the ground. Almost all screens abruptly went dark, engulfing them in an eerie silence. What's happening? He yelled. We've been hit by some kind of electromagnetic wave, Dan said. The engines are down. Internal communications are unresponsive as well. Natasha's voice rang out. What about the FTL drive? It's functional, Dan confirmed, but without other systems, navigation is impossible. We'll be jumping blind. Nelson sighed as his eyes met Jane's, silently conveying a sense of impending doom. Jump, he commanded. Get us out of here anywhere. Yes, sir, Dan acknowledged, and with a few clicks, the familiar sensation Nelson had experienced during the initial jump came and went swiftly. Jump successful, Dan declared. The screens displaying the colonies flickered, sound vanished, and the video feed remained for a fleeting moment before vanishing entirely. What happened? Nelson yelled. We've lost contact, sir, Natasha replied grimly. Without navigation systems, our hyperspace communications can't locate the signal. We're on our own. As are they, Jane added solemnly. A somber atmosphere enveloped the room, an oppressive silence lingering in the air. They've disabled all of humanity's technology and stripped away our ability to communicate, Natasha said. Rebuilding everything from scratch may take hundreds or even thousands of years. Why would they do this? Nelson's voice was filled with despair. The existence of another advanced civilization, with the ability to reach them, could be seen as a threat, I suppose, Jane theorized. Even if their technology surpasses ours, we might eventually reach a comparable level. If so, they'd prefer erasing our technological progress and resetting us to zero. Humanity will splinter across the solar system, Nelson murmured, his tone filled with resignation. Drifting through space, severed from one another, never able to communicate, never able to reach each other, starting back from nothing, forever confined to our tiny corner of the universe. We should have never attempted to break out of our prison. We shouldn't have tried to defy our fate.